All right, guys, this is a different topic. But before I even get into it, John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world, man, that he gave his only begotten Son, which was Jesus, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life." Everlasting life. That is an awesome thing. And I just want to let you guys know Jesus came in the form of a man, really healed the sick, did all kinds of good things, taught us the way of the Father, and showed us what really the Father wants, and then showed us that He really loved us by being put to death, bearing all wrongs and the evil we do to Him, and so that He could wipe away those wrongs, give us a fresh, clean slate every time we ask Him, and give us eternal life of that. We don't have to die and stay dead. So I just want to let you guys know about that before I move forward. Even your very existence right now, the ability to choose, do what you want with your life is the grace of God. Jesus opened that gate to give you that time so you could pick Him. So do that, all right? Yeah, as you can see from the title, we're looking at the best in each division. That's not easy to do at this point in time because, there's a new crop of people, there's a new generation of fighters out here, and that makes for an exciting time. But still, I want to go through the different divisions and just weigh different people in those divisions and give my arguments for or against why certain people should be looked at as the best in the division. Of course, not all the divisions are resolved. Some are not. All right, so first and foremost, you guys can also leave that in the comment section. I'll come to the comment section in a minute. In fact, you guys can start commenting right now in the comment section. We're going to keep this discussion pretty lively, but I'm going to keep it brief as well. When we look at the heavyweight division, it's really compelling in terms of talent and skills. And some of the people who are more talented than others, or more skilled than others, should I say, not talented, but more skilled than others, are actually not necessarily the people with the titles. Now, there's a difference between a title holder and a bona fide champion. A bona fide champion has done a number of title defenses and has faced a number of contenders and have proven time and time again that they are the true champion because they have been able to overcome all challenges and retain their title. It may be that they drew or whatever. So there's a difference between a title holder and a champion, a bona fide world champion. Okay. I think I did that in a video before. Now, when we look at the heavyweight division, we got a number of new faces that are at the top of that division. The WBC champion right now currently is Deontay Wilder, and the unified WBA, IBF, and WBO champion is Anthony Joshua. Now, he is the super champion at the WBA. The regular champion is Manuel Charr. All right, so let's get into it. We got these champions who are basically at the top of the rankings of different divisions, but are they the top guys? I argue that some of the guys below them actually have better skills than them. And I can tell you for right now that Jarrell Baby Miller, or Baby Jarrell Miller, he has more skills than all of the guys at the top of the division right now, just looking at his skill set. And what I mean by more skills, he can bob, he can weave, he gets on the inside, he buddy punches quite a lot. And that's a really good trait. And he can slip the jab, split the jab, roll the jab, dip under the jab. He can dip and weave. He can bob and weave. He can bob. He can swivel. He can. His footwork is interesting. How he gets on the inside. He can square up, bob and weave like Mike Tyson, or he can actually come with the side-on stance, also known as the Philly shell. He uses different looks. He's very active with his feet, even though he's a big mass kind of guy. He's very active with his feet. And he's more of an inside fighter. He gets to the inside, and he has his different strategies how to get to the inside. So Jarrell Miller has a lot of skills in terms of, bobbing and weaving from punches, blocking punches, parrying punches, dipping under punches, rolling under punches, or swiveling back or snap back from punches. He has some pivot work that's really nice that he can get around a person, get to T angles, get to different weak side points. He works the body. He is a guy that gets low. And getting low is always a good attribute, even though he's a 6'2", 6'3" guy. For big mass that he is, he actually is able to use that mask against his opponent quite effectively. So I gotta say, of all the heavyweights out there, the one that I find functionally the most skilled. Now, you can be skilled, but you don't have that conditioning with your skill set. I think that Jarrell Miller has an interesting conditioning. He keeps going. He's not the hardest puncher, but he definitely has a lot of skill. And so you have to think about Jarrell Miller when we talk about the most skilled fighter. Now, Deontay Wilder is a very good outboxer. He can bang a little bit on the inside. He's not really a mid-range fighter. He's a little bit wild once he gets you. But in terms of skill, Jarrell Miller brings a lot to the table. Okay, much more than Anthony Joshua right now, who is the unified WBA, IBF, and WBO champion, or Deontay Wilder. But having said that, Jarrell Baby Miller is just one of several other people who have a lot of skills and abilities out there. Not always sharpened skills, but still a lot of skills and ability. So we want to mention a couple other people. Recently there, Kubrat Pulev, he was able to become Anthony Joshua's IBF mandatory, beating Hughie Fury. Tyson Fury is a skilled fighter as well, not as crafty or skilled as Jarrell Miller. He doesn't really do much inside fighting. Mostly fights from a distance like Deontay Wilder. So it's interesting. Luis Ortiz being a skilled southpaw. We just want to mention them. So we got some skilled fighters like Luis Ortiz. Dillian White also has some good skills, even though he's not as effective on the inside, even though he tries to get on the inside. He's more of an outboxer, really. Set you up from the outside, but he also he's learning to adapt that skill and get on the inside of fighters. Again, doesn't have the greatest power in the world, and doesn't cut off the ring that well. Doesn't have the greatest pivot skills, but he's also one that we have to mention when we're talking about top boxers. Joseph Parker is a very impressive boxer. I'm very impressed with Joseph Parker, and defensively, he's pretty good. Again, not the kind of skills like Jarrell Baby Miller. Jarrell Baby Miller's got the skills to get on the inside. Joseph Parker, he's got all-round skill and ability. Nothing really, really great to talk about. And we have Alexander Povetkin, who's a very good counterpuncher. He can lead as well. And so his skill set's pretty much that. He has some pop power. He's a kind of smart fighter. Derek Chisora has durability. Charles Martin, southpaw. Long rangy southpaw. We got Carlos Takam, Bryant Jennings, durable, more of an inside fighter, but again, he's kind of limited in how he fights. And we have Guillermo Jones. We also have in this weight class, we also have some other fighters who are also pretty good, but I'm not seeing them here. All right, so be it as it may, I would say out of all of the boxers I've seen in the heavyweight division, strange as it may sound, the most skilled fighter I see of that division, who is a functionally skilled, that is to say he has the conditioning and everything, and he has a wide range of skills, which is very effective, is Jarrell Baby Miller. See this guy right here? I really want to see what happens when he meets one of them top fighters, when he becomes a top contender and he gets up in the top here. I would love to see him against Manuel Charr, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, Dominic Brazil. He probably mow him down if he hasn't mowed him down already. Joseph Parker will be a nice fun fight. Alexander Povetkin, anybody. You put Jarrell Baby Miller in with anybody, I think he gives them all hell. And I'm going to talk about some other fighters soon enough, but this is in the heavyweight division. I would say, strange as it sounds, I think the most skilled functional fighter in the heavyweight division today is Jarrell Miller. All right. Let's move on to cruiserweight. Now in cruiserweight, bar none, the guy who's at the top of cruiserweight right now he deserves to be there. It's Alexander Usyk, and he is unanimously the best cruiserweight in that division. But you got to keep your eye on fighters like Andrew Tabiti. You have to keep your eyes on some upcoming fighters like who else is coming up there that we should really pay attention to? I think it's basically Tabiti. Tabiti's not the heaviest puncher out there, but he's very sharp and he's very quick, and he's got some good skills. So we want to see what happened with Tabiti in that group. Usyk is about to face his hardest opponent, which will be a guy who's actually at heavyweight, but I'm not seeing his name up here in the top heavyweights. But he moved up to heavyweight, who was also a cruiserweight, very dominant cruiserweight at the time. I forgot what his name is. You guys know who I'm talking about, right? So I think that's basically it for cruiserweight. In light heavyweight, this is a fun division, man. This is a fun division. We have some really good names who are world champions right now. Artur Beterbiev, you know, skilled, powerful, strong IBF world champion. Elida Alvarez, a very skilled fighter, more of a boxer. He is right now the WBO champion. Marcus Brown is coming in to challenge him. Very promising now at contender status. Badou Jack just recently fought Adonis Stevenson. You know, he really beat Adonis. Didn't get his just due. Joe Smith Jr., though he got beat a couple times, he's up in there. He has some skill. Karo Murat, you know, he's been sticking around for a little bit. Shabransky, who was, you know, the touted name, and now after he got beaten by Sullivan Barrera, you know, we ain't hear too much more about him. But Sullivan Barrera, now skilled Cuban boxer, and so we got those guys there. Jean Pascal still hanging around. And got some good history, was a former world champion, etc., etc., etc. So this division is kind of loaded. But who's the best in this division? I can't really say. I think Badou Jack is one of the most consistent. I wouldn't call him the most skilled, but he does have a lot of tools at his disposal. Artur Beterbiev has got the power. Elida Alvarez can box. I mean, this is a division. We really don't know who the best in the division is yet. We still have the promising upcomers like Marcus Brown. Badou Jack made his presence known. Still got Sullivan Barrera up in there. You know, we got Elida Alvarez, Artur Beterbiev. You know, I think Adonis Stevenson is on his way out. I think Badou Jack beat him. So we're going to be talking about the best in the division. We're talking names such as Badou Jack, Artur Beterbiev, Elida Alvarez, upcoming promising upstart Marcus Brown. We're talking about Sullivan Barrera. I think those are the best in the division. You really need to look out for those kinds of guys. And I mean, they are the future for that division, right? Sergey Kovalev is like, I think he's the thing of the past. He's going to be like a gatekeeper from here on in. People going to stamp over him and just be using him as fodder, okay? And all the other guys. But I think the most promising boxers in that division, I'm surprised I'm even saying this, is Badou Jack, Artur Beterbiev, Elida Alvarez, Marcus Brown, Sullivan Barrera. I think those are the names. Maybe there'll be some other names coming up. I can't tell you who is the best light heavyweight until all those guys fight each other. Now, when we talk super middleweight, that's also a very exciting division. We got the Benavidez brother, David Benavidez, who's the WBC champion. And we still got skilled fighters like Anthony Dirrell, Andre Dirrell's in there. James DeGale is in there. You know, Benavidez just beat George Groves. No, Callum Smith just beat George Groves. George Groves still, you know, he's rigid and stuff, and he's kind of the thing of the past, but you know, he became world champion, you know, so he's up in there. We got Jesse Hart up in there. We got Gilberto Ramirez. Canelo's going to come up in there and try and challenge Rocky Fielding. We got Callum Smith. We also got names like Arthur Abraham was still hanging around in that division. Peter Quillen's up in there. Caleb Truax is up in there. So we got a loaded division. Now, who's the best in the division? Again, we got a lot of young fighters up in here, but I think the best in this division, the very best in this division, you gotta look at the name James DeGale. James DeGale went into everybody's backyard. He's also the most experienced of the division. Porky is probably the most tricky of the division. If my boy, so I gotta be honest, James DeGale is probably the best of the division right now. But don't shake your head on David Benavidez. You know, David Benavidez got some things going on. Again, rangy fighter. So David Benavidez is rangy. James DeGale is also rangy. Let me just be honest with you. James DeGale is a rangy fighter, but he can fight a little bit on the inside. David Benavidez is rangy. Callum Smith is rangy. Rocky Fielding, he kind of fight a little bit on the mid-range to outside. But most of these guys are rangy. Gilberto Ramirez is a rangy fighter as well as Jesse Hart. So most of these guys are rangy fighters. Arthur Abraham fought on the inside. Anthony Dirrell is rangy, as well as Andre Dirrell is a rangy fighter. Peter Quillen is also rangy-ish. You know, Jesse Hart, rangy fighter. So we got a bunch of rangy fighters up in here. George Groves is also a rangy fighter. Chris Eubank does fight on the inside. I forgot Chris Eubank in the whole thing. So you got all of these fighters up in there. Now, let me just say, there's a lot of names up in there, but in terms of all-round fighters and people who can do it all, we have few of them. So, like I said before, I think James DeGale is the best in the division, even though he's not a world champion right now. I think he got stripped of his title or whatever. But I think he's the best in that lot. Canelo's coming up in there, so we'll see what happens with Canelo. But this is also, I'll tell you, the best in the division is people like David Benavidez, Gilberto Ramirez, Callum Smith, and James DeGale. Who else we got? I think that's the best in the division. George Groves was out boxing actually Callum Smith until he got caught. So, you know, it was a competitive fight. It wasn't outboxing. It was a competitive fight. I think he was actually beaten down Callum Smith at the time, and then he got caught, and that was that. But yeah, this is the division. Super middleweight is an interesting division, and again, it has a lot of talent in it, a lot of skills in it. In terms of the middleweight division, the best middleweight at present is Canelo Alvarez. Everybody knows that by now because he beat Gennady Golovkin, and he also beat Miga Cotto. And those were the two best of the division. So Canelo Alvarez is the best of the division, but he's got some other people. You know, you got I think that's about it. You know, these are the names that are considered the names in the division. All right, but in terms of the best of the division, I think it's Canelo right now is the best of the division. Of course, I still think he needs to face Danny Jacobs and Demetrius Andrade to cement that. Danny Jacobs, Demetrius Andrade. He don't need to face Jermall Charlo, but if he wants to, he can. Hopefully by then, Jermall Charlo would have gotten enough experience to face Canelo. But I think that Canelo beats all those guys. Honestly, I think he beats all of them. Danny Jacobs got a lot of skill and ability, but I still think Canelo beats him, even though I think Sergey Derevchenko was a much better version than Gennady Golovkin, even though, Danny Jacobs did drop him. He didn't really drop him. I think it was a balance shot. Because I think Derevchenko actually caught him with a shot, a left hook, as he was also hitting Derevchenko with a shot. And I think it was an uppercut he hit Derevchenko with. And Derevchenko, he kind of lost his balance and went down. But it's all good. I mean, Derevchenko, you know, when you get a knockdown on somebody, unless they dominate you, it's kind of hard for them to win, because even if it's an even fight going into it, Danny Jacobs would get the nod because, you know, Derevchenko, he got knocked down. But it was a close fight. I'm not going to lie to you. It was a close fight. And Derevchenko held his own, showed after 12 fights, he showed that, you know, he was there. He belongs at that level. He needs a little bit more experience, but he belongs at that level. So I'm looking out for Derevchenko. Got a lot of skill. So I'm looking out for him. I would love to see him face Gennady Golovkin, but I don't think Golovkin will want anything to do with him right now. He's just trying to cash out. So he'd be looking for another Canelo fight or some kind of big money fight, something where he can get some more money. You know what I'm saying? Because he's looking to cash out right now. David Lemieux, he's a banger, but he is not in the category of these elite fighters. So Canelo, Danny Jacobs, Demetrius Andrade, you know, we already know Gennady Golovkin. They all mopped the floor with David Lemieux. In fact, David Lemieux got his tail whooped by Billy Joe Saunders, who's not up in here, but Billy Joe Saunders can really box as well and should be in the upper echelon as well. So you got to also include Billy Joe Saunders. If Canelo could run through all those guys, that would be nice. I don't think he will. I think he will take on Danny Jacobs, who is really the next best thing. I think after he makes a statement with Danny Jacobs, he may take on Demetrius Andrade. He may. That would be nice. But Andrade would have to build up himself a little bit more. But then again, Demetrius Andrade is in the zone, so he might just get that fight. But after that, I don't know if Canelo will face Jermall Charlo, to be honest with you. Jermall Charlo, I still think needs more experience. I mean, he is sharp and everything, but I don't think I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think he's not ready. I don't think he's ready to face Danny Jacobs to start with. I think Danny Jacobs will beat him. And I don't think he's ready for Demetrius Andrade either. It's kind of strange to say, but I don't think he's ready for those two. I don't think he's faced anybody like those two, and I don't think he's faced competition that's commensurate with that kind of opponent. I mean, look at this. Jermall Charlo did not put away or even drop what's his name? He didn't even drop. I'm gonna tell you who he is because he's probably somewhere in this division somewhere. Where is he? He didn't drop. I can't believe I can't find him now. The guy who beat Miguel Cotto at super welterweight, became the WBA champion. I think he was. It's just not coming to me. Jarrett Hurd stopped him. And this is after Jarrett Hurd stopped him and Erislandy Lara dropped him. You know what I'm talking about? Austin Trout. That's the name. Austin Trout, right? He couldn't put away Austin Trout. Neither Jamal nor Jamel could put away Austin Trout. In fact, Austin Trout gave both of them trouble. So how if you couldn't even put away Austin Trout, okay, how are you gonna put away Canelo? You know what I'm saying? How are you gonna beat Canelo? I don't understand that. So like, and Canelo dropped Austin Trout. Jamal Charlo didn't do nothing with him. So Jamal Charlo, for all his power and all of that stuff and his thing, I don't think he's much of a threat to Canelo at this point in time. He would have been a threat to GGG a little bit because I think he has a nice jab and everything, and he's very sharp and everything. And I'm sure he would study up for GGG to try and contend with him. Canelo walked down GGG. He walked GGG down. Okay, so I mean, Canelo's a different kind of cat, man. So I don't think that I don't think any of these guys will beat Canelo. I don't think Daniel Jacobs will beat him. And Demetrius Andrade is quick and all that, and he got his southpaw thing going. But I just don't think Demetrius Andrade can handle Canelo either. I just don't think so. I think he's too one-dimensional, and he reminded me of Amir Khan. He's like the Amir Khan of the 160 division, to be honest with you. And I know he got a lot of respect and props from the amateurs when he was fighting amateurs and stuff. But this is the pros, man. This is not the amateurs anymore. And Demetrius Andrade, for all the respect he gets, because he had bad promotion and all of that. I give him a shot at Jamal Charlo. I give him a shot at Jamal Charlo. He hasn't really fought. Demetrius Andrade, by the way, hasn't really fought the competition that tells me he separates himself from Jamal Charlo, by the way. Because Jamal Charlo, yeah, he fought some old guys and stuff. And he fought some inexperienced competition, but Demetrius Andrade ain't fought nothing much different. I mean, Walter Koku or whatever his name is, dude was slow as daylights and just straightforward, rock'em sock'em, straightforward fighting. Demetrius ain't had nothing. He looked good because the dude was just coming forward straight, looking for him. You know what I mean? So he looked great, but he's not really, Demetrius Andrade ain't really showed me nothing. Jamel Charlo seems to have even much more power than Demetrius Andrade has to start with. And, Demetrius Andrade, I'm not saying he's a bad boxer or anything, and I know he needed a shot at his break, but I don't really see him doing nothing against Canelo, honestly. I mean, he can move a little bit. Erislandy could move quite well, too. Erislandy moved more than him. Canelo caught up to him and started banging up the body, and I just don't see why Canelo wouldn't just break him down to the body. I mean, Demetrius Andrade does change levels and stuff like that, but Canelo would just go at him and just be ripping them shots to the body. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying Demetrius. I've seen Demetrius sit in the pocket and just rumble with guys, right? I remember the fight where this guy just made him fight, and he had to just man up and just fight on the inside. And he was fighting his heart out. So I've seen Demetrius Andrade do that. So don't think he's some weakling. No, dude can knuckle up and really just go at it, right? But the thing about it is, Canelo would make him fight. He would make him fight. Canelo would go to his body religiously and beat him to the body like nobody's business. And Canelo will get to that body. So, I mean, I just don't see. I mean, Demetrius Andrade going to have a fight. He got to have a fight of his life against Canelo. And if he prevails, that would be great. But I would love to see that fight because I know Canelo would make him fight. And I think he knows that, all right? With Danny Jacobs is a lot more sophisticated than Demetrius Andrade is. Danny Jacobs does a number of things and some. And I think because of his fight with Dmitry Pirog and then his training with Sergey Derevyanchenko, he was able to add some more of the things to his game. The only thing is Danny slips up at certain moments in fighting. And I think his coach, he even did it against Derevyanchenko and got caught. And he was wobbling all over the place, right? And he didn't go down, though, which is great. but you can't be making them kind of mistakes against Canelo. He capitalized on it and drop you, and then you behind him. You behind Canelo. You got to wait for Canelo to try and fade or something. And these days, Canelo's not really fading. You know, he's not really fading. I saw Danny Jacobs fade more against Gennady Golovkin than Canelo did in 2 fights. In fact, Canelo was stronger in the second fight. People were saying, you know, Golovkin started coming back. Yeah, he came back in round 10, but 11 and 12 went to Canelo. So, you know, I don't even see, I think Canelo's condition is getting even better. So, having said all of that, I think that that's important points for people to remember when you're talking about these middleweight matchups. But yeah, I think that because of experience and all of those things, Canelo is the best middleweight right now. Nobody, you know, what like Floyd Mayweather would say, what don't meant to be said don't need to be said. You know what I'm saying? And you don't need to say it, but everybody can see it. Canelo is the best middleweight at present, just based not only on his resume, but just the level of competition he's faced. And I really look forward to, and I salivate over the prospect of him facing Danny Jacobs, which looks like this might happen next year. And of course, Daniel Jacobs in there saying he'll avoid them, he'll duck them. I know Canelo to duck nobody. Canelo has ducked no one so far. All right, he has only fought the best in the division. He fought Erislandy Lara and Floyd Mayweather at super welterweight. He fought Gennady Golovkin and Miguel Cotto at middleweight. Those were the best middleweights out there. He fought both of them. He fought the best super welterweights in the division, which was Erislandy Lara and Floyd Mayweather. He fought the best. And he unified with Austin Trout, who was at the time the best middleweight you could have faced. All right, them little Charlo boys, they couldn't have handled Canelo. They was little kids, man. I hear them all making, and they wasn't even world champions at the time. It was Erislandy Lara. They looked to Lara. Okay, he beat Lara. Okay, so I don't know what they talking about. Canelo will run from these. Look, man, Canelo runs from no one. And Danny Jacobs, guess what, Danny Jacobs? If the fans want Canelo to fight Danny Jacobs, and I hope the fans want it because I want it. I want to see that fight next May. Canelo versus Daniel Jacobs. I would love to see that. But I just want to let Daniel Jacobs know, come prepared, because Canelo's going to come prepared, because we know what you can bring. And we know you know what Canelo can bring. And I just hope you're ready for Canelo, because Canelo is going to bring something. Canelo showed he can walk down an opponent. He can box an opponent. You know, just like how you can look all slick and nice against my boy Sergey Derevyanchenko. Canelo looked like he was super slick against Gennady. Golovkin didn't even touch him. You know what I'm saying? While you had big eyes and puffy eyes, and Gennady Golovkin was tagging you with certain shots, you know, Canelo wasn't getting tagged by Golovkin. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying. And Canelo was a smaller guy coming up in weight, handled his stories. Now he's a full-fledged middleweight, almost super middleweight now. And I don't know, man. I hear everybody talking about going up to super middleweight after Canelo decides he's gonna fight Rocky, what's his name? Rocky Fielding. And I find that very interesting, because now everybody talking about going up super middleweight. I hear you guys talking about chasing Canelo. You know he's the cash cow, so you want to chase him. But at the end of the day, I just don't think Demetrius Andrews is ready for that. He ain't got the competition Canelo face. I don't think he has the skills to face. But I do believe that Danny Jacobs would be a nice opponent for Canelo, because he's got a certain degree of slickness to him. I think also that he's very much more mature than almost any other middleweight out there. I think Daniel Jacobs is more mature than Gennady Golovkin. That's how mature he is. I think he's the most mature middleweight. I think he's the best middleweight Canelo could face. And I'm going to tell you this. If Daniel Jacobs beats Canelo, I'm going to admit it. I don't care what the judges say, okay? If Daniel Jacobs beats Canelo, I'm going to tell you all guys that. Because I think he's, in terms of the middleweight that most likely could beat Canelo, I think the only one I think out there right now that looks like he could beat Canelo, but he's got some flaws, is Daniel Jacobs. That's the middleweight I think that if anybody has to beat Canelo, it would be Daniel Jacobs. I don't think any other middleweight out there has the experience. You know, Daniel Jacobs has been out there longer than Canelo. He's been through it all. He's been dropped. He's been stopped. He's been, you know, victorious. He's gone through cancer and all that stuff. Plus, he's skilled. He's got a great trainer. I think if there's anybody who could beat Canelo, it would be Daniel Jacobs. But he had to show us something we haven't seen before. And Canelo, well, we know what Canelo brings to the table already. Okay, Canelo just need to be himself, and he would beat Daniel Jacobs, in my opinion. So, and Canelo can do all kinds of things. So I think a lot of people are underestimating Canelo. He clearly beat Gennady Golovkin this time. Floyd Mayweather Sr. approves of it. Floyd Mayweather Sr. said he thought it was a draw the last time, or he thought Canelo beat Golovkin because Golovkin couldn't touch him. I would like to know how Danny Jacobs going to touch Canelo to start with. Secondly of all, I think because Canelo's becoming untouchable now. He's becoming untouchable. Danny Jacobs is pretty fast. He's sharp. That's one thing. Daniel Jacobs is sharp. He's sharper than Gennady Golovkin, so that should be interesting. And, you know, Erislandy was a very sharp fighter, and Canelo adapted to him. I think that Floyd Mayweather fight was a telling fight. Canelo talking about facing Floyd Mayweather at 43 years of age. That's ridiculous. Or 42, whatever Floyd is. It's ridiculous, man. Floyd is an old man, and whether Floyd wants to bump his gum or not, Canelo shouldn't even be talking about facing Floyd again. That's just ridiculous. But if they want to do it, if Floyd wants to get some cash and he wants to go face Canelo again, fine. I just don't think that makes sense right now. I think for him, that's a risk at such an old age. Even if you beat Canelo, the damage that you might take, I just don't think it makes sense. You know, what are you trying to prove, Floyd? What would you be proving by taking on Canelo at the age of 40-something, where you all your career you went well, and then you get damaged at a later age, and then next thing you have to go the rest of your life damaged, and just to say that you beat Canelo, that collect some money, that don't make no sense. That makes no sense right now. Floyd needs to just stay out of those kinds of fights, whether he got the skills to beat Canelo or not. I just don't think that makes sense. And he's not going to be sharper than he used to be. He's just not going to be that. You know, and that's up to him if you want to do something stupid like that. But I just don't think that. I think that that's going to damage his health. And to have gone your whole entire career healthy, you know, and now and you suffered some trauma during your career, as much as you said they think you was untouchable. You got yourself pretty damaged during the career, especially in training. And then to go into that Canelo Alvarez fight and get yourself hurt, you know what I mean, at that old age, or hurt in training, preparing for that fight, just don't make no sense to me, you know. So I wouldn't want to see that. But yeah, Canelo, man, you know, I think he's the best middleweight out there. When it comes to the welterweights, the super welterweight division, this is an interesting division. This is a division where I think the best super welterweight out there would be Erislandy Lara. Even though he's not world champion right now, I think he would be the most experienced, the most skilled. Well, not the most skilled, but I think he's going to be facing, I think Erislandy Lara will be facing Jarrett Hurd, and that probably might settle out everything, and we'll be able to know who the best super welterweight is. Jermell Charlo is promising. He's actually, in terms of super welterweights, he's my favorite super welterweight to watch. It's not because he's stopping people. I just like how sweet he boxes. I love that he really uses the sweet science. So I really like him. I like his style. He reminds me a lot of a younger Floyd somewhat, but not really. He has his own thing going on, and he's vicious. I like that. But in terms of the best super welterweight out there, I think that goes to Erislandy Lara still, until he's not the Erislandy Lara is not the most skilled, but I think he's the best. He has the best resume. He has the most experience. I think he's the guy. I would love to see Jarrett Hurd face him and see him do his thing against Jarrett Hurd and maybe win, maybe not. Jaime Munguia, I don't know who that is. Jarrett Hurd shows a lot of potential and promise, how he switches stances, and he what do you call that thing? I forgot what he called it. It's what Gennady Golovkin kind of does as well. And you know, Jarrett Hurd is a big super welterweight, so he really he has some interesting things that he does, makes him unpredictable, even though it's not technically sound. So that's what makes him interesting. Then you got Michel Soro, who's also a very good super welterweight. I hope he gets a chance. Kell Brooks up in there now. We also got super welterweights like Tony Harrison, who's going to be facing Jermell Charlo. Austin Trout still up in there, and Austin Trout still live. Erickson Lubin's still there. So, you know, we got Liam Williams. We got Liam, the other Liam, I forgot what his other name is. I forgot. But, you know, we got some good names up in here. Curtis Stevens. I didn't know Curtis Stevens was a super welterweight. He went back down. Takashi Inu is up in there as well. So we got a very interesting division. But again, the best super welterweight right now, I think, is Erislandy Lara still. But we got some other good names like Jermell Charlo, Jarrett Hurd. We got Michel Soro, Kell Brooks up in there. So you have to count Kell Brook in there in the top echelon, even though he ain't fought nobody yet. And those are the names, I think. Then you got Julian Williams, who's a good sound boxer. You got to still keep him. Don't discount him. That's because he got stopped by Jamal Charlo. Doesn't mean, you know. And you also got Tony Harrison, who's hanging around, and Erickson Lubin. But honestly, Austin Trout. So we got, you know, we got some names up in here. You know what I'm saying? We got some names up in here. But I think the best of them is still Erislandy Lara until somebody proves me wrong. Michel Soro needs to be noted there, as well as Jarrett Hurd and Jermell Charlo. So those are the guys. I don't know anything about Jaime Munguia. You guys gonna tell me about that. In the welterweight division, this is gonna surprise some of y'all. The best welterweight in that division right now, it's a toss-up. It's a toss-up. You know, I'm gonna tell you who I think is the best welterweight in that division. That goes to either Sean Porter or Keith Thurman right now. And you guys are gonna be like, what? Sean Porter or Keith Thurman? What are you talking about? Go ahead and watch the competition these guys faced. Keith Thurman has faced Danny Garcia, right? He's faced who else did he face? He has faced Danny Garcia. Who else does Keith Thurman face though? I'm trying to figure out who he's faced. He also faced I think Sean Porter faced better names than Keith Thurman did. I just realized that. Oh, Keith Thurman's faced Danny Garcia. He's faced Sean Porter, who is now WBC World Champion. And Danny Garcia was WBC World Champion when Keith Thurman faced him. Keith Thurman's also faced, what's his name? The name, I'm seeing his face in front of me. He faced Floyd Mayweather. You guys probably know who I'm talking about. He faced him as well. You know, and Sean Porter's faced just about everybody. I mean, all the top big names. He faced Adrian Broner. He faced Danny Garcia. He's faced Keith Thurman. Okay. All those are top names in the sport. When you look at Errol Spence Jr., the only top name he's faced in the sport is Kell Brook, and I think he's also faced Lamont Peterson, if I'm not mistaken. Lamont Peterson is not on the level of a Danny Garcia. He's not on the level, even though he's got some good wins on his belt, but Danny Garcia is like the crowning name, if you want to talk about names. Errol Spence has not faced a Sean Porter until I see Errol Spence face a Sean Porter, a Keith Thurman, or Danny Garcia. And let me see if he can get a man down on those boys. If he can't get a man down on them boys, you know, you can't say, you know what I mean? He's faced Kell Brook. I give him his kudos for beating Kell Brook. But then Kell Brook did a number on him as well. So, you know, I'm just saying. And then people talking about Terrence Crawford being the best and pound for pound #1. I just don't agree with that at all. He does have the skills for it. He is a very skilled fighter. But who has he faced? Who has he really faced, man? I gotta ask the question. Who has he faced? Manny Pacquiao, excellent choice if you wanted to. We beat Jesse Vargas. He's beaten. I mean, Terrence Crawford beat Jose Benavidez recently, but I mean, who's Jose Benavidez? You know what I mean? It was like Benavidez fought who? You know what I mean? Jesse Vargas was a former world champion. Okay, Danny Garcia, world champion, WBC world champion at welterweight. You know, WBC, WBA world champion at you know, junior welterweight, long reign and junior welterweight champion. Sean Porter, WBC IBF world champion. You know, Keith Thurman, WBA WBC world champion. You know, when you talk about these names, Manny Pacquiao, WBO world champion. You know, now WBA regular champion. Be nice to see Manny Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? You know, these are names. You know what I mean? Errol Spence ain't fought no name like that. He fought Kell Brook, who was an IBF world champion. While he was IBF world champion, but he's coming off a loss, though. He was coming off a loss to, you know, Gennady Golovkin, got some damage there. So, you know, it kind of takes the shine off of it. And then Terrence Crawford ain't fought nobody. He's WBO world champion, was a dude who, you know, beat Manny Pacquiao, no doubt about it. But, I mean, other than that, you know, what else am I saying? Terrence Crawford though got the skills. He's got beautiful skill set. He's got the smarts. He's got the he's got the attitude and stuff. So I understand Errol Spence's got the strength. He's got that beautiful body work. He can box on the outside. He's a southpaw like Terrence Crawford's a switch hitter. So I understand why people might say they are the best, potentially the best, but they're not the best because they not faced the best. And then, they haven't faced the best. I mean, Errol Spence faced one of the best, which was Kell Brook. And Keith Thurman had respect for Kell Brook, and everybody had respect for Kell Brook. But you got to understand, it was still a Kell Brook that was coming out of a loss to GGG. It wasn't an undefeated Kell Brook, you know what I'm saying? And that's something you got to factor into your equation. Plus, it's a Kell Brook going back down in weight to welterweight, who's Kell Brook right now is at super welterweight. So, you can make the size and stuff. This is why probably he also got that orbital broken, and he was still rumbling with Errol Spence. You know what I mean? So I just don't think that I don't think that you can say anything because Errol Spence I still don't think is tested. People are thinking that they're dubbing Errol Spence the next thing. No, let him face Shawn Porter first. I think Errol Spence will be facing Shawn Porter next year. Terrence Crawford, he's kind of left in the wake because of way how Bob Arum behaves. So Terrence Crawford versus anybody right now, the real hot names in the welterweight division is not happening. So he's kind of on the outside. So we kind of like forgot about him. But we got Amir Khan also. We got Adrian Broner up in there. We got names like what are the names we got up in here? Fabian Madonna. So Marcos Maidana's brother. We got Josecito Lopez hanging around, I guess for fun. I guess and Jeff Horn is a nobody once again. He'd been like a punching bag. And so that's that. Andre Berto's still hanging around as well. So those are the names really in the division. It's a pack stack division. Love to see names like Keith Thurman take on Manny Pacquiao, Errol Spence Jr., or Terrence Crawford. I think Keith Thurman is very strong. I think Errol Spence will try and get him to the thing, but Keith Thurman's got a really solid defense. He's got a very solid defense. So that would be interesting to see how Errol Spence would actually deal with a Keith Thurman who's just like, smacking you upside the head with these weird combinations that he keeps on hitting you with. But I don't know if Keith Thurman's still carrying his power at one time stuff. I don't know about that. And Errol Spence is pretty strong. Yeah, so I think Terrence Crawford's going to be left out of everything else. He went against Jose Benavidez, but that Jose Benavidez is not proven like a Danny Garcia. Even a Jesse Vargas. Terrence Crawford against Jesse Vargas would be a good fight because Jesse Vargas is tough and everything and smart and all that. If he could stop Jesse Vargas, then we can talk about something. But I don't think he's stopping Jesse Vargas. I think Jesse Vargas is just that guy that's not going to be stopped. You know what I mean? Shawn Porter's not a guy you can stop either. I don't think you can stop Keith Thurman. So I think he would have to try and outbox those guys. It's just like when he was facing I forgot what that kid Victor Postol. He wasn't gonna stop Victor Postol. He made Victor Postol look stupid, but he ain't gonna stop him. You know what I'm saying? So there are just certain guys you're just not gonna stop. At the elite level, you're just not gonna. So what are you gonna do after that? Errol Spence is talking about man down, man down. You ain't gonna man down Keith Thurman. He's not man down Shawn Porter. It's not happening. You're not manning down Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia's not gonna get stopped. We all know this now. You cannot stop Danny Garcia. And they got good enough defense that you're not just landing body punches on them all day long. That's not happening. So I think that's the thing that is interesting to me. Errol Spence is a big, strong welterweight, but I still don't think he's just going to run through these guys. These guys are not guys you can run through. I don't even think you can run. I don't even think he might be able to stop Manny Pacquiao. He might catch him, but I just don't think, I haven't seen it from him at least. I don't think he stops Manny Pacquiao either. That's not easy. How are you going to stop Shawn Porter might stop Manny. He would rough up Manny Pacquiao. That's what I know. Shawn Porter, just based on the Jeff Horn fight, I think Shawn Porter roughs up Manny Pacquiao. Errol Spence is not that kind of fighter. Errol Spence is not that rough. He's cleaner. He's a cleaner fighter. Shawn Porter is a rough customer to fight, man. And you know what I like about Shawn Porter? He's like a counterpuncher as well. He will set you up on the outside. Sometimes he just come straight at you. He always attack you when you least expect it. And he attack you at an angle you least expect as well. Now, Shawn Porter got a good chin as well. And Errol Spence, like I said before, he's not really a one-punch knockout artist. He's accumulated. He break you down. What happens when you start dealing with a Shawn Porter? Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Shawn Porter got his tail whooped by Kell Brook, right? And I know Errol Spence is strong like Kell Brook. So maybe Errol Spence can control Shawn Porter, but I don't know, because Shawn Porter has now become, I think he has evolved a lot more as a boxer from what he was. And so even though Keith Thurman did handle him and kept his defense and everything, I think Errol Spence will also, shell up when he needs to and keep his defense. I think Porter pushes Errol Spence around just like how he pushed around Keith Thurman. Again, Keith Thurman is a big welterweight. Errol Spence is a big welterweight. Kell Brook are big. These are real welterweights. But Shawn Porter, I think, is bigger than them all. I think he came down from 165 or something like that. Was a footballer at 200 pounds. I think Shawn Porter is bigger than them all. So I think Shawn Porter would actually rough everybody up. You know what I mean? I think he's stronger than everybody in that division. I think, Timothy Bradley was another guy I would have loved to see mix up these guys, but it didn't happen. I told you guys there would be 4 kings. The only thing is Errol Spence replaced Kell Brook. Kell Brook's not there. He moved up in weight because that was just too draining on him. And I also see Terrence Crawford filled in the gap there. But we got Porter, Keith Thurman still there. These are the guys I thought that would reign in the division. I thought the other guy was Timothy Bradley and then Kell Brook. And Timothy Bradley and Kell Brook are not there. Terrence Crawford is there. Errol Spence Jr. Now, let me talk about Errol Spence Jr. versus Mikey Garcia a little bit so you guys will understand what I'm talking about. So I hear Mikey Garcia is moving up to 147 to face Errol Spence Jr. The thing about it is, from what I've seen of fights of Mikey Garcia, I don't know, man. I don't think Mikey can take on an Errol Spence Jr. But I've heard Errol Spence Jr., he drinks. So that may be something that we have to look at. If dude have a drinking problem, I could see how Mikey Garcia, who does not, he takes care of his body. I could see how he would really like to break down Errol Spence Jr. and go to certain places. You can't be drinking, man. Errol Spence Jr., if that is really truly the case, you shouldn't be drinking, homie. You shouldn't be doing that, man. Don't be putting no alcohol in your system, dehydrating you and that kind of stuff and weakening your body, man. That's stupid, man. He should get over that drinking problem. Like Sergey Kovalev, man. That's how Andrew Ward heard you got a drinking problem. Oh shoot, no guy with no drinking problem beat me. And I think that's one of the disadvantages to him. That alone, Mikey Garcia would be like, man, I'm gonna fight that dude because he don't. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. He got a drinking problem, So that could be what Mikey Garcia is seeing. I still don't understand what he's seeing because I look at his skill set and Mikey Garcia, yeah, he got some things going on with him, but I just don't think he has what it takes to beat an Errol Spence. I'm looking at it, just looking at what his fights and how he won his fights and stuff. I think he's straightforward. And I think Mikey, yeah, he's a technician and all that, and he punches pretty hard. But at the same time, I just don't think, he can handle Errol Spence Jr. I don't think Errol Spence Jr. necessarily will knock him out. It depends. I don't know. Maybe he would. It depends on how Mikey's defense is and how good his defense is. If you got a defense where you can block your lower body with your elbows and your hands, you can keep that guard where you protect your whole entire body, and you start to shell up really well, nobody can get past your defense, then you can't get knocked out. It's just what it is. Once you're perfectly defensive and you're keeping that defense going, but you have to, and that's the important thing. If you shell up, you can't just stay shelled up. Otherwise, the guy's going to pick his spots and start teeing off on you, okay? You have to shell up, and then you have to look to counter. But you got to counter smart. Otherwise, as you look to counter, if your opponent can see you telegraphing your counter or see you starting to push the counter on them, you're not going to surprise them. They're going to counter you. They will set you up to counter you, and then you'll be in deep trouble. So it depends on how he approaches it. But to be honest with you, just like David versus Goliath, man, Errol Spence is just overwhelmingly. I can understand why people would, if they're doing a bet, they would overwhelmingly give Errol Spence the advantage, because you're talking about a guy trying to come up from 140, 135, 140 to try and compete with a true welterweight. And what you gonna do? What's your game plan? You know what I mean? You better have skills that make you dip. You have to dip under some of them punches, especially the body punches. You must be able to dip under them, roll under them like Keith Thurman does with his arms to the side, his guard. So you hitting arms, you know what I'm saying? You must be able to counter in ways that we haven't seen you counter, Mikey Garcia. So I just don't see it. However, Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia, that is not an easy fight for Errol Spence. I'll tell you two reasons. Danny Garcia is, yes, you can walk Danny Garcia down and stuff, but Danny Garcia is tough. I mean, tough mentally. He's very, very tough. And he has a really interesting guard. You're not just going to get by that guard just like that. You got to be really, and you have to adjust your body punching. Errol Spence likes to tee off with you off the ropes. You're not going to get that with Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia's footwork is really precise, and he has a very good stance. And Danny Garcia will counter you. So I don't know. Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia is a really good fight. Manny Pacquiao versus Danny Garcia is a really good fight as well. Danny Garcia is a strong guy. I wouldn't be surprised he comes into a welterweight fight on Fight Night 165. Okay, that's to tell you how big I think Danny Garcia is. He's a big, strong welterweight. And I watched Sean Porter fight him, and I watched Keith Thurman fight him. And I mean, Keith Thurman hit him with a home run. Danny Garcia sucked that up. He went back a little punch drunk. He clinched up a little bit, but that was about it. He was not phased for the rest of the fight. Okay. Sean Porter hit him with some home runs. He didn't even budge. So I'm just saying, Errol Spence Jr. is not knocking out no Danny Garcia. I'm just telling y'all right now. Danny Garcia, I don't care what y'all guys say about Danny, and he only getting stronger. He's only getting stronger in this division. Danny Garcia is getting stronger. And, you know, Danny Garcia is a beast. He's a beast, you know. And I think people not really paying attention to him. He's not no small guy, okay? Danny is not small. I would even like to see Danny Garcia against Terrence Crawford, to be honest with you. I would love to see that fight. And I do believe Terrence Crawford will outbox him, but I don't think he's not stopping Danny Garcia. It's just not happening. He's not stopping him. So, you know, there's some really tough boxers at the welterweight division. Really tough guys. Jesse Vargas is another interesting cat. I would love to see Terrence Crawford go up against Jesse Vargas, you know, throw Jesse Vargas in that mix a little bit. You know, Amir Khan doesn't want to have anything to do with anybody, so he's just avoiding all those top fighters. He's not even facing them. You know what I mean? He just want big paydays. He want to cash out and leave the sport of boxing as well. Some people, you can tell they want to cash out, you know. So Manny Pacquiao, he's gonna be facing Adrian Broner. I'm assuming he's gonna be facing Adrian Broner at welterweight. But I don't see Manny Pacquiao going down to 140. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. They got Andre Berto up in there. I gotta admit though, I just rewatched the Andre Berto Sean Porter fight, and Berto Berto he was kind of unlucky. He was getting beat up, but he was unlucky in the sense that he got head butted and he was focused on his head, and then Sean Porter did beat him across the ring. But you know, Berto always looked like he off balance, or as he's about to get knocked out, as if he's punch drunk. But he's not punch drunk. Berto didn't complain because Porter was really going at him, but Berto wasn't anywhere near being stopped when that fight was stopped. Let me just be honest with you. He was a little confused, but he wasn't about to be stopped. That's just how Berto looked when Berto getting punched up. Right? Well, Berto's a very strong guy, and Sean Porter stopped him technically. It wasn't really a real stoppage. I'm gonna be honest with you. But Porter would look really good against Berto. I mean, Porter was like a punching bag to Porter. You know, it was good. So yeah, okay. So who's the best welterweight in this division? As I said before, it's a toss-up between Sean Porter and Keith Thurman at this point in time. Some of you will disagree with me. That's all right. Leave your comments in the comment section. I'm coming to you guys just now. But I think that Sean Porter is actually Sean Porter is under. You have to underestimate. You know, when you're going to face Sean Porter, you have a hell of a fight coming on. And Sean Porter has many different stances he uses, and he does many different things. And it's not always like the boxing, you know. He does different things. He goes up on his toes and moves backwards. It's unusual. I've never seen nothing like that in boxing. It's not really bouncing. It's just, I don't know what to call it. He does some unique things that I just never seen in boxing. Even when he's coming on the inside with his guard, his double guard up there, and he's bobbing and weaving coming on the inside, and then he hits you with a punch. Sometimes he hits you with the overhand punch like a Mexican. Sometimes he hits you with the underhand punch, or sometimes he hits you with the uppercut. Sometimes he hits you with hooks to the body. I mean, he's interesting, man. Sean Porter does different things, and his father knows what they're doing. They know what they're doing when they're facing every single opponent. And he has difference. He has a difference. He tweaks his style differently. And he sometimes just tries to overwhelm you with punches. Sometimes he's very strategic and very surgical in how he will punch you on the inside. He's mostly an inside fighter, if you haven't realized, Sean Porter. He's a little bit rugged. You know, he come in sometimes head first, not intending to butch you, but he comes in head foot, you know, digs down low, comes in head first. He does stay low a lot. So what the cool thing about Porter is he comes from low to high a lot. He has a wonderful shotgun jab. Sometimes he doubles it up. Sometimes he hooks off the jab, triple hooks and stuff, you know, leaping triple hooks. And it's crazy. So Porter does some unique things that I've never seen. And then his conditioning is ridiculous. So, you know, when I got to admit, when Adrian Broner check hooked him and he went down, I don't think he was shocked because Adrian Broner is strong. I would argue that Adrian Broner is stronger than Sean Porter when they were fighting each other. And but just Porter would just had a better fight plan, and Adrian Broner would lock him up. Like Adrian Broner is very strong because you don't usually lock up Sean Porter, and Broner was able to do that. So but Broner really didn't have an answer for Porter on the inside, and that's why he was locking him up so much in the fight. But once again, you know, Sean Porter is, I think. I told you he's one of my favorite fighters. And even though he uses a kind of like a football attack sometimes, but he was pretty clean in his last fight against Danny Garcia. But even though he combines things like, you know, charging at you, like if he's a footballer, he uses like, he comes off the jab. So he can hit you a shotgun jab. He can jab you from a distance. You know, he uses the uppercuts and stuff. Sometimes he mixes in some feints. He like that stutter steps feint that Manny Pacquiao uses, you know, and other things. He's kind of basic in some ways, but I still like it because there's things he does that just, you know, are just unique to Sean Porter. And he's so relentless. Like he just like a pit bull, man. He comes at you. That's why they say he's something like Mike Tyson. He just comes at you relentlessly. You know, he's not as accurate as Mike Tyson, but he does hit you with some really nice left hooks and stuff. And again, he can wear you down with just simply activity, his intensity, and just coming at you all the time. He can really wear you down being so physical. So I like Sean Porter, man, and he is a tough fight for anybody. I think who was it? I think Andre Ward said he had faced Sean Porter, and he said he was a tough fighter in the amateurs. So you know how it goes there. Super welterweight, super lightweight division. I don't know too much about this division right now. Adrian Broner still in there. I didn't know Jorge Linares moved up there. Victor Postol is still in that division. The champions currently are Jose Ramirez and Regis Prograis, who defended his title successfully over the weekend. Then we have Kirill Relik and we have Maurice Hooker. I know none of these people, so if you guys know anything about them, you can talk about that. At the lightweight division, man, we got Mikey Garcia, who just beat my boy Junior. What is his name? Something Junior. I forgot what is it. You know, Robert Easter Jr. Man, he just beat Robert Easter Jr. It was still a competitive fight. He dropped Robert Easter Jr. early, but we also got some other names like Vasily Lomachenko. I guess we just have to by default say Vasily Lomachenko is the best in the division because he beat Jorge Linares, who was the linear champion. Was he the linear champion? Or no, he was just the best in the division. Beat Jorge Linares, who is a very good boxer, man. He got good boxing IQ. I wouldn't say he's the best boxer of the lightweight division, but he got good boxing IQ. And we got Luke Campbell, who was there. He got to be beaten by Jorge Linares. We got Javier Fortuna. We got Anthony Corolla. We got David Haney, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Francis Bartholomew. This is pretty lively. This is pretty lively division, man. Jose Pedraza's up there. He won the champion. He's WBO champion. So you got all these guys here. I heard that Vasily Lomachenko trying to unify the WBO and WBA facing Jose Pedraza. Pedraza, who had been stopped by, of course, Tank Davis at the low weight class of super featherweight, but came up to the WBO class and he's won the lightweight championship. So that's great. So Lomachenko is going to look to unify, and Mikey Garcia also has already unified. It would be nice to see Mikey Garcia against Vasily Lomachenko. See how that would run. I'm quite interested in how that would turn out. But in terms of this division, lightweight division, I think the best in the division is Vasily Lomachenko, no doubt about it. Mikey Garcia's got the 2 belts, the WBC and IBF, and he's done a good job of gaining those titles. But you know, beating Robert Easter Jr. was nice, and then he beat the other guy, I forgot what his name is, who was a fair guy in the division. Nobody wanted to fight him, and Mikey fought him and beat him, knocked him out actually. Mikey is a lot bigger than Vasily Lomachenko, obviously, especially if he's going to fight Errol Spence. He's going to be much bigger than Vasily Lomachenko. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. We'll see. But at the end of the day, I think him fighting Lomachenko will be an interesting fight. I don't know how it will turn out. Most people would pick Lomachenko to beat him. I think Mikey's pretty big, so it'll be interesting. Or maybe they'll do a catch weight between lightweight and super lightweight. Who knows? Well, we'll have to see. In terms of super featherweight division, we got Tevin Farmer that's there, skill southpaw. We got Masayuki Ito. I don't know too much about that dude. Gervonta Davis. I heard Gervonta's drinking or something like that, playing the fool. Again, Gervonta, if you're drinking, man, better stop. Alberto Machado, I don't know who that is. Miguel Berchelt. All right, he's a title holder. That's cool. Miguel Roman, Francisco Vargas, who got beaten recently. Johnny Gonzalez is still hanging around in that division. We got old guy Edna Cherry there, Jason Sosa, Dennis Shafikov still up in there. We got Brian Vasquez, who's in that division still, or has moved up to that division or something like that. I don't know what. We got Jesus Andres Cuella, who just got beaten by Gervonta Davis, who beat the brakes off of him. So, you know, that's the division we're looking at. Those are the names in that division. Some of them guys are really old. Some really old dudes up in that division. So it is what it is. But you got the younger guys. Tevin Farmer been around for a while. I would love to see Gervonta Davis versus Tevin Farmer. 2 southpaws go at it. Miguel Berchelt, that'd be interesting as well for the winner of that. I don't know about Masayuki Ito. It looks like he's all the way in Japan, so that ain't happening. In the featherweight division, we got it's an exciting division. Gary Russell Jr. here is going to be facing Leo Santa Cruz. That would be dope. That's a nice matchup. Oscar Valdez won the championship. Carl Frampton's right there. Oscar Valdez is kind of shaky, though, so we'll see what happens with him. Carl Frampton's been experienced and everything. I don't know what's going on with him. We got Jesse Magdaleno up in there. Abner Mares is up in that division. So that should be good. Kid Gallahan is picking back up his stuff. You have Scott Quigg up in that division. Andres Gutierrez, who, you know, we know from the streets and stuff. And he's making his way up there. I don't know how he's doing so far, if he's still undefeated. Jesus Amaromas, I don't know who that is. I think those are the names in that division. I don't think there's anybody else. Tomoki Kamita is also up in that division. So you got all those guys up in that division. Who's the best of the division? I guess they'll have to say Leo Santa Cruz, whether I like it or not. Leo Santa Cruz might be the dude at featherweight right now. You know, maybe Abner Mares will come back down to featherweight and face him. Maybe not. But I think Leo Santa Cruz is the guy at the division. He beat Carl Frampton. He beat Abner Mares. You know, the only person he didn't face was Gary Russell Jr. And I think he's facing him too. So he's the dude at the division right now. He definitely is the guy that's making the stamp. In the super bantamweight division, that would have been where Guillermo Rigondeaux is. If Guillermo Rigondeaux was down there, he would be the man at super bantamweight. The other names in that division, all these names here, I don't know them, but Diego De La Hoya is down there. We got Tomoki Kamita, who's down there. Jesse Magdaleno is down there, or maybe not. I don't know. Cesar Juarez. I think that's about it for names I know. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't see Guillermo Rigondeaux, but I hear he's being promoted by PBC and Al Heyman now, so that should be cool. Whatever happens there, that would be cool. In the bantamweight division, the best of that division is, I don't know. I would like to say Naoya Inoue, but he just kind of came up into that division. You got Zolani Tate, who's a long-reigning WBO, or just a long-reigning bantamweight champion. I don't know who else we got here. We got Rashid Warren, who's still up in there. We got Jamie McDonald, who was Nonito Donaire's down there. I didn't even know Nonito Donaire went all the way back down to bantamweight. That's interesting. Yeah, so that's basically it. I think Joseph Abeko's down there. Abeko being around for a while. So yeah, in terms of the super flyweight, we got Sanskrit Ramvisa. I think he's the best in the division. We have Donnie Nietis, who's the next guy. Juan Francisco Estrada is also moved up to that division, I think. And you got Roman Gonzalez, who's still down there. You got Kazuko Ayoka. You got Pedro Guevara. You got Miguel Gonzalez. All those names down in that little division. You didn't hear nothing about these divisions no more. You ever notice that? After Roman Gonzalez got his butt beaten by Sanskrit Ramvisa, you ain't hear nothing about them now. And they're interesting. The flyweight division. Well, who's the best in that division? I don't know. I really don't know none of these names here. And junior flyweight, which was almost the last one of them. Hecky Butler's there. Ryoichi Taguchi. Those are some of the names. So I don't know who's the best. I can't say who's the best there. I like Hecky Butler. Let's put it that way. But most of the champions I see there, I can't say they're the best. I know the best minimum weight fighter is Wanyan Manyaothin. That's the best minimum weight fighter of the minimum weight division. Okay, I can tell you that for a fact. So that's my list of people who I think are the best fighters out there. I want to hear what you guys got to say. So I'm going to come out of this and see if you guys got any comments. On this. All right, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat section. I know different people will have different comments, so you guys will be chatting away on your own. AJATX, I do predict the Bronze Bomber to beat Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. That's cool. That's cool. But I don't think the Bronze Bomber is the best in the division. And I don't know if he's going to beat Tyson Fury. That would be interesting if he does. 175 division is unpredictable as of right now. Okay. I would say that the 175 division, AJATX, is an exciting division, the light heavyweight division. And like I said, I think that division is stacked to the T. It's stacked to the core, man. It's stacked to the core. You know, can't remember who I said was the best. Hold up. Let me see. Let me go back there and just have a look at it. The light heavyweight division. All right. Adonis Stevenson's on his way out. Batterjack beat him. We all know this, right? Otto Bitabiev, Elito Alvarez, Marcus Brown, Batterjack. I think these guys are the bad boys of the division. I think Batterjack beats Dmitry Bivol and just gets back the WBA title because I think they stripped him and Dmitry Bivol got that title. But it's really Batterjack's title. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really count Dmitry Bivol. Yeah, but you're right. And of course, Sullivan Barrera should be mentioned as some of the best. But yeah, you're right, man. You can't really say who is the best in the lightweight division for sure. AJATX said Robert Guerrero. That's the name I was looking for. Yeah. Keith Thurman faced Robert Guerrero. He faced a bunch of names, right? But at the end of the day, Errol Spence versus Sean Porter seems like the fight to make. Yeah, I think they're going to make it next year. They're definitely going to make that next year, you know? But it seems as though Errol Spence is looking to make that fight with Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia is a pretty hot name right now, undefeated fighter and all that. So he's trying to make that fight with Mikey Garcia. I honestly think that, like you said, that Mikey Garcia, I don't know if he got the tools to beat Errol Spence Jr., but they're going to come up with a game plan of some kind. Um, he does have some tools to beat him, but it's just, I don't know, man. Mikey doesn't look like that kind of fighter who, I don't see that kind of sweet science dimension to him. Like, he kind of basic in many respects. But, he knows what to do, so we'll see. We'll see what they do. As sure as hell ain't no Adrian Broner. Tommy Temper says, yes, Anson, pound. Yeah, man, what's up, Tommy Temper? What's up, my brother? AJ ATX says, Broner, if he's focused and in top shape, can be at the top of 140 pounds and beat anyone in that division. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Broner shines when it's not a real prominent name or something. But he drew with Jesse Vargas. I mean, he drew with Jesse Vargas. That's the kind of level Broner's really at when you really stop and think about it. In terms of the super lightweight division, yeah, the super lightweight division right now is kind of weak. It's kind of weak. I mean, the best of the division right now is like guys like Victor Postol. Even Jorge Linares seems to have stepped his foot up into that division. We got Regis Prograis right now, Jose Ramirez, Kirill Ralik, and Maurice Hooker. Those are the guys. It's a weak division right now. It's not strong like it used to be. So yeah, Broner probably could rule that division. It's a weak division. It's not strong. And even when Terrence Crawford was there, it wasn't that strong a division. It didn't have names like it did in the time of guys like Danny Garcia and stuff. It got weak. So most of those guys moved up to welterweight. Yeah. So yeah, he probably could run that division, but then again, I mean, just because you run a division don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? Bivol Beterbiev should fight. Bivol and Beterbiev. I think Bivol should fight Jack. That's who I think he should fight. I think he should fight Badu Jack because Badu Jack is right now in line to face Bivol. That's the truth. And Bivol only got that championship because Badu had let it go to face Adonis. You know what I mean? So I really think that Bivol should actually face Badu and just end that story. All right. And Badu is right in line to face Bivol, so he should face him. Marcos Brown. I want to see Marcos Brown face Elito Alvarez or even Bivol or Badu Jack. That's who he should face. Or Alexander Gvozdyk or whatever his name is. Or old Adonis Stevenson. I would prefer Marcos Brown not to face Adonis at this point in time. Adonis does have a lot of experience. And while Marcos has a lot of energy, I don't know, man. And then you got Joe Smith Jr. You can face Badu Jack or Marcos Brown. It's nice little mixes up. Sullivan Barrera's right there. I think Barrera knocked out Joe Smith Jr. Isn't that right? Sullivan Barrera's been making his name, right? If I'm not mistaken. Sullivan Barrera's doing well. So I think Sullivan Barrera should get a chance. At getting some more shots at the title, right? Oh no, I'm wrong. Bivol knocked out Sullivan Barrera. That's okay. He stopped Sullivan Barrera. My bad. Okay, Dimitri Bivol. Also, that's how he got the WBA. Okay. Well, cool. Oh no. I'm wrong. Yeah. I'm right. So Sullivan Barrera did beat Joe Smith Jr. He beat Shabransky, knocking him out. Lost to Andre Ward. And just recently got beaten by Dimitri Bivol. I don't think Dimitri Bivol's. Do this. It's Dimitri Bivol from Russia. I would like to see Bivol face Battle Jack. That's who I want him to face. That's who I want him to face. Relatively no fights actually, but he's going to be facing Jean Pascal next month, 24th. Yeah, he's facing Jean Pascal. All right, cool. But Bivol, I want Battle Jack to face Bivol because I think Bivol has not faced a style like Battle Jack's. You know what I mean? And he's relatively new. I mean, he just won the title, which was really Battle Jack's title. You know, Arthur BWF and Battle Jack faced the best of the division, which was Adonis Stevenson. They gave him a draw, but really, I think he beat him. So Battle Jack would have been probably the #1 guy and lineal champion if he had beaten Adonis Stevenson. You know, I'm telling you, man, Battle Jack is a bad boy. Arthur BWF just came on the scene. Elito Alvarez just retained, you know, showed that he could do his thing, and he beat Sergey Kovalev. It was really good. A good fight, by the way. And Dimitri Bivol, you know, any one of those guys, Arthur BWF, Elito Alvarez, Battle Jack, I'd love to see Bivol face those guys. I say he faces Battle Jack, and Battle Jack get back his title and then move on from there. Because I'm telling you, Battle Jack has very, very good defense. Very good defense, which is why Adonis Stevenson really couldn't really do with me. He hurt him a little bit. And Battle Jack's not a big light heavyweight, you know what I mean? So I would love to see that. AJ ATX says it's such a big risk for Mikey to move up 2 weight classes, but it would still be good to watch. Yeah, you know, but the thing about it is, AJ ATX, you know, I've been thinking about it on the movements of Mikey and the way how he boxes. And it just dawned on me that, you know, Mikey can't box that way. He can't go in that fight boxing that way. You know, he's gonna be trying to go textbook to the weak side of to the weak side of Errol Spence Jr. And he's not gonna be really bobbing and weaving to get on the inside. He's not gonna be dipping. You know, dipping can make a big difference. You know, if he could dip a little bit and he knows how to dip and come up with it from the dip, he could nullify some of the things that Spence does. He had to have a real solid defense, a tight defense, and something to make Errol Spence think. And Errol Spence, tell you, man, the technique of Errol Spence is insane. Okay, and he comes off his jab, he doubles or triples of his jab to go on the inside. So Errol Spence is a tough cookie to beat. And then, like I said before, he can play chess. Errol Spence can play a little chess. He's not really the greatest with feints, and he does keep his head along the center line. But guess what? Mikey Garcia keeps his head along the center line. If you really pay attention, Mikey Garcia uses range and distance. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting how they, you know, Mikey faces Errol Spence. Errol Spence drinks. That's not good. He should stop that drinking habit, because that's probably what Mikey said. Man, I'm definitely fighting this dude because I keep my body in better shape than him. So it may be that triggered Mikey to say, I'm going to take this fight against this guy, because I really can't understand otherwise why he would try and take that fight. Errol Spence is in ridiculous shape most of the time. I mean, really firm, strong shape. So, but I mean, Errol Spence did a stupid thing by starting to drink. That's dumb. You know what I mean? AJATX says, I really wish Ward didn't retire, since we're both talking about everyone at 175. Shaking my head. No, it's okay. He retired. I mean, that's what he wanted to do. And obviously, if he was at 175, he would be the best boxer at 175. Definitely Ward would have probably, if he had hurt a guy like Adonis Stevenson, like how Battle Jack did, I think he finished the show. I think he's stronger than Battle Jack at this present point in time. Battle Jack is still not a full-fledged 175-pounder, which is remarkable considering how he was really landing some blows on Adonis Stevenson and pushing him back and hurting him. And in the final seconds of the fight, if you gave it a little longer, I think he'd have gotten Adonis out of there. Adonis was tired. You saw how he walked back to the corner at the end of that fight. You know, Battle had really put a number on him. And I think Battle was just tenacious and everything. I think he won the fight, honestly. But at the end of the day, Battle's not big and strong like a full-fledged light heavyweight. And yet his defense is so on point that he's able to, you know, and, you know, that reminds me of Luis Arias when he was facing Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs couldn't get Luis Arias out of there because of Luis Arias' defense. His defense was on point. And Luis Arias had a bad leg. He had twisted his leg in that fight. And he still was able to outmaneuver Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs was missing a lot of shots. And again, that's because when you have good defense, You know, even the fight with Danny Jacobs and Darchenko just recently there last night, it was good because once again, um, Darchenko has good defense and Danny Jacobs has good defense. So they was missing some really serious shots that they should have hit. But I think if somebody had just fainted a little bit and then tried to take off the shot and really watch what they were doing, I think it would have turned out much better. But they were just trying to unfurl bombs at a certain point in time, and that was kind of dumb. You know, they got caught up, and that's why there's a difference between fighting hard and fighting smart. You know, and that's something I noticed about Danny Jacobs. He want to get you back immediately, and he's not really thinking. You could outplay him chess-wise that way, you know. But he did set up Peter Quillin for the shot that he got, so I can't fault him, you know what I mean? But yeah, you know, I would love to see Badou Jack up in the mix of that. And you know, that's weird because a lot of people were bad talking Badou Jack when he got stopped by Derek Edwards. But now nobody's saying nothing about Badou Jack no more. You know, they realized that was a freak knockout kind of thing when Badou was warmed up and stuff. So people don't. And Badou has had tighter defense since then. You know, you can't hit Badou Jack like that. He uses his guard really well. And I really appreciate that. So he hardly got himself hurt in any fight. And I really appreciate that. And that's the thing. Once you have a solid defense, you can work off of that any day, anytime. You got good defense, you know, it's very hard for people to stop you. And once they can't stop you, and they, you know, now you can do your thing. So that's why I tell people, you know, you become good defense. Good defense makes a big difference. Yeah, guys. So that's basically it. Another reason why I wanted to see Andrew Ward versus Adonis Stevenson, I think Ward wins by easy decision or late TKO. Yeah, Ward would have beaten him. That's for sure. Because Adonis is not the greatest inside fighter, if you have noticed. And just watch how Badou Jack got position on Adonis. He got a nice T-angle position on him. You know, it's kind of almost Floyd Mayweather next. Kind of stick that shoulder into him. Adonis can't do nothing with the straight left. Took away straight left from him. You know what I mean? Ward could probably knock out Stevenson cold. I don't know if he'd knock him out cold. He would work the body. He worked the body. And Stevenson, at the age of 40, you saw him getting tired. He was not ready for that work. And that was just based on Badou Jack. I think Ward would have pressured him more and strategically land that left hook on him a lot more. And I think, yeah, he might have gotten him out. He might have gotten him out of there. Out of fatigue. I think Stevenson would have gone down on a body shot or something. Yeah, because Badou Jack had him gone almost. And he sucked it up and he really tried to fight back. But I think Badou Jack would have stopped him, given a little bit more time. Badou was really coming at him with everything. You know, but Badou was a smaller guy. So I really appreciate Badou Jack because he still ain't got that light heavyweight power yet. He's still working into it. Yeah. Man, it's cool to talk to you, AJ ATX. We're just talking a little bit of boxing here. And, you know, one thing I'll tell people about the sport of boxing that I like about it, it's not so much the knockouts and all that. It's just looking at the fighters and what they bring to the table and their skill sets. And like I said, it kind of gives us a kind of view of the Christian walk. But I think Badou got some bad calls in his career. You know, calls that were against him. And if you look at even the scorecards and even how the judges did it, I don't think there will be a rematch. I think Stevenson's way too old now. I think he's going to get out the game before he offers a rematch. He said he's going to offer a rematch to Badou, but I don't believe that. I think he's going to stay away from Badou. And he's not going to give him a rematch because he knows he got beat. I heard him stuttering and talking about how he thought he won the fight. He had no reasoning for why he won the fight. He knows he lost, so. I mean, it's just what it is. I don't think Badou's ever going to get a rematch from Stevenson. Stevenson doesn't want to go in a fight and lose. Nah, he's good. I think he's going to retire, and Badou might get to take over that belt because I just don't see Stevenson. You know, Badou gave him a beating, man. You see all his face, man. He got busted up real bad, and those were punches. He got busted up in his nose. You know, he got busted up on his forehead and stuff. Nah, and that wasn't a headbutt. He's not looking for that work. He's not looking for that payday. Oh no, that's just way too much work, man. You saw him kind of just walking back to his corner, tired, beaten up. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that work. He's just being courteous. Oh yeah. He can get that rematch. He can get the. No, you're not getting. You're not gonna give him no rematch. You just got your tail whooped. Especially in the 11th and 12th rounds, that boy was just giving you that work. And you 40 years old. You're too old for that stuff. He gonna take an easy fight after that. He gonna say he's right off into the sunset. He is not looking for that work. Stevenson is not looking for that work. You can't pay him enough, man. You know what I mean? That's it. That was like Floyd Mayweather versus Marcus Maidana the second time. It was like, you should do it again. Floyd was like, nah. Nah, I think I had enough of Maidana. You know what I mean? Maidana, I think Maidana gave him a bumpy lip and hit him in the third round flush. Boom. Floyd was like, you know what? I don't want that work no more. That's enough. I think I proved my point. All right. Don't want to see that guy no more. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. I mean, come on now. You have to think. I mean, he's 40 years old. You're going to go your whole entire career, you know, not really get damaged bad, and then you're going to look for this last fight to get brain damage or something? No, man. That ain't right, man. Just because you want to collect a paycheck? No, your health is important. You know, I don't think Adonis want that work with Badou Jack. I don't think Adonis want that work with Arthur BWF. He ain't going to go in the ring with no BWF. You know, Adonis is, you know, he's going to retire. That's what he's going to do. He got enough money in the bank. He's good. You know what I mean? He made enough money off of boxing. Now I'm out of there. I'm riding off into the sunset. I don't need no Arthur BWF. Maybe Elito Alvarez. You know what I mean? Not even Elito Alvarez, because Elito Alvarez can box a little bit. Nah, he's good, man. He's good. Arthur BWF, no. Dimitri Bivol, no. You know? He's good, I'm telling you, man. He ready to retire. He might have one fight, one easy fight, maybe with a guy like Cairo Murat, you know, who he knows he can knock out. Or who else he might fight? He may fight a Chilimba. If he ain't fight a Chilimba already, a Caparilla, you know, somebody like that. That's who he gonna fight. You know what I mean? And ride off into the sunset, man. He's 40 years old. That's an old dude. Why go and get yourself killed now? You know what I mean? No Joe Smith Jr., no Sergey Kovalev, none of them guys. You know, and he kind of gambled that Badou Jack is not really a knockout artist, so that's why he went with Badou Jack. But I mean, come on now. Anyway, guys, man, it was nice talking to you guys. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon where I live. I haven't drank water. I need to go and hydrate myself. I said, man, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the best of each division, and not all of it is easily flushed out. But like I said before, some of these guys are not world champions right now, but that doesn't mean they're not the best. Like, for instance, Jarrell Baby Miller, who he's fought is not the best competition that Jarrell Miller's fought. So you guys might be saying, man, you inconsistent. You know, the level of competition and stuff. Well, Deontay Wilder's best competition so far, if I'm not mistaken. Deontay Wilder's best competition so far has been the big dude who he knocked out. Right? Wilder ain't really fought nobody other than that. Right? When you look at Anthony Joshua, he's the guy who fought the best competition, which was Vladimir Klitschko. So when you look at all of the other guys there, they haven't really fought nobody. So that's why when I look at it, Jarrell Miller, Baby Miller, I could say he's the most skilled in the group. And, you know, I think he's the best in the group, not only based on skill set, but just the fact that, you know, all these other guys really face nobody. You know, Anthony Joshua's faced some world champions. He faced Joseph Parker, managed to beat him. And he faced Charles Martin. But again, you know, Joseph Parker just recently became champion. Charles Martin just recently became champion. So when you look at it, all kind of in the same boat. That's why even though Anthony Joshua got these 3 titles and Deontay Wilder got 1, they're not really, you know, what do you call him? Fury, Tyson Fury. You know, he faced Klitschko, but other than that, who has he faced that everybody else ain't faced? You know what I mean? It's that kind of logic we use. When you look at the cruiserweight division, you know, Usyk is the man there. When you look at the light heavyweight, you know it's either Battle Jack out of BWF or Elito Alvarez or Marcus Brown. Again, all of them at light heavyweight. Now, Battle Jack's the most experienced of them all, but at light heavyweight, when you look at it, you know, all of them are pretty much around the same level. The only thing is Battle Jack separates himself. He just fought Adonis Stevenson. Nobody else fought that level of competition. So that makes it, gives him a little nod ahead of those guys. But, you know, when you look at the super middleweight class, like I said before, I think hands down that's going to be James DeGale. James DeGale is the dude you got to look at in that division. Everybody else is kind of under him. When you look at middleweight, you're looking at Canelo, by far the most experienced boxer of them all. But you can't leave out Danny Jacobs, who's next. And then I think Demetrius Andrade, Golovkin's still there. I mean, he's got a lot of experience as well. But I still picked Danny Jacobs over Golovkin because I thought Danny Jacobs beat Golovkin. So, and I think he has much more skills and everything. So, you know, when you look at the super welterweight, I told you I think it's Erislandy Lara, the most experienced. I think he's beaten quite a lot of people that these guys have just come up and beat. He was the first to beat everybody, you know what I mean? That. And then you got Jamel Charles, Jarrett Hurd. You got Misha Soro, Kell Brook. Then you got all the other names. I mean, welterweight, we're looking at Sean Porter, Keith Thurman. I think those are the two you got to really pay attention to. Errol Spence Jr. yet to really fully establish himself like that. Terrence Crawford, same thing. Manny Pacquiao, he's in and out, you know, so it is what it is. And of course, Danny Garcia, Jesse Bar. But I think the best two are Sean Porter, Keith Thurman right now. You know, Keith Thurman's in absentia. Super lightweight, I guess if Broner wants it, he can get it. That's a division for him. Devin Haney's up in there, though, and a bunch of other people. Lightweight, we're looking at Lomachenko. Super featherweight, we're looking at Tevin Farmer, Gervonta Davis, those guys. Featherweight, we're looking at Leo Santa Cruz. Super bantamweight, we're looking at Magdaleno, De La Hoya, maybe Kamita. Bantamweight, we're looking at Inu, Tate. Super flyweight, I don't know, Donnie Yates, Francisco Estrada, Sasket, Son Ronvisa. Ronvisa is the man in that division. Flyweight, we're looking at, I don't know. Junior flyweight, we're looking at, I don't know. I don't know too much about this thing. It's Hecky Buckler. That's the guy I know. But and of course, minimum weight, we're looking at Juan Hen Manny Austin. Manny Austin is the dude in that division. So that's how it goes. That's how I think that these divisions run. Yeah, man. So that's it for me. But Hurd did beat Lara convincingly. Jarrett Hurd fought Erislandy Lara? He did? Oh, really? He fought Erislandy Lara? I didn't even know that. Wow. Okay. They said by a split decision, though. You're saying convincingly. He said by a split decision he beat Erislandy Lara. I don't know that. I didn't even know that fight went down. He cut Lara's eye in round 12, and then he knocked him down in round 12. Oh, so he won the WBA World Super Welterweight title. Okay. I didn't know that. So he beat Erislandy Lara. Okay. It was a close fight, too. It was a close fight. I think Lara, okay, I see what happened. It would have been a draw if he didn't knock down Lara. Isn't that it? So because he dropped down Lara, he beat him. Okay, I didn't know that. Wow. Oh, he was working Lara to the body. All right. Okay. But there you go. So there you go. So Jarrett Hurd is probably the man of the division then. Okay. Okay. I did not know that. I did not know that happened. Yeah, I didn't know that happened. Well, there you go. It was a close fight, though, from what I'm seeing from the judges' scorecards. It looked like it was going to be a draw. Going to be a draw. That's good, though. Okay, so there you go. So I guess the man of the division is Jarrett Hurd then. You had 8 rounds for Hurd. Wow. I can't say that. I can't say do it. I can't say anything because I didn't see the fight yet. When I see the fight, then I'm gonna tell you. The judges had it scored close though. They basically had it a draw if Lara didn't get dropped. Because Lara got dropped, it was a 10-8 round. And so that round went to her. You thought they were too close. Okay. Actually, I haven't seen that fight, so I can't really say. I'm just looking at the results. I didn't see the fight, so you just told me that he beat him. You say he beat him convincingly, though. Well, Jarrett Hurd is the dude then. But that's what's up. I would like to then see Jermell Charlo face Jarrett Hurd. That's what I want. I want Charlo versus Hurd then. And that would basically tell us who's the guy in the division. Oh, he exposed Lara? Really? So Canelo started the trend of exposing Lara then, based on what you're saying. But I see that the judges had it close though. So I would like to see what really happened. I like listening to your perspective. I'll have to actually watch the fight myself and see if what you're saying is true. But Canelo used to go to Lara's body as well, so that's how Canelo won. So maybe you're right. Maybe he was just really landing shots on Lara. Well, he dropped him. And the funny thing is, he probably watched the fight that Canelo had with Lara and saw that Lara got dropped by accumulation of body shots. That's what made Lara slip in the corner. That's why I said he didn't really slip. Her did take shots, but still won convincingly. Yeah. Okay. That's your opinion. I gotta go see it. The judges had it close, so I'm curious to see what really happened. I'm curious to see what happened. But that's interesting, man. AJ ATX. Man, I hope you have a blessed day, man. I've been talking boxing for a good while with you guys. And I got to go check and see what's going on with my mom and everything. So I got to split, guys. But I hope you guys have a blessed evening. These are the guys I think that actually, though, I think you should pay attention to, who I'm tentatively saying are the best in the division. Lara just wanted to move away from those shots, but was forced to fight in the inside. Okay, cool. He made him fight on the inside. That's interesting. Hurd is a big super welterweight, by the way. He should be a middleweight, really, but he can make super welterweight. So that's dope, man. That is dope. So he unified. Oh, there you go. All right. So we're going to see probably Charlo versus Hurd very soon. That would be good. We'll see what happens with that. All right. So we may just have a unification. We may have an undisputed. We may have an undisputed champion, which would be very good. So we'll see how that goes. The other thing, though, I would want that undisputed champion to do is defend his title at least a couple of times as undisputed champion. Like, for instance, Terrence Crawford didn't do that. As he became undisputed world champion, he was done and he just left. But, I can understand that. He conquered the best, so he's gone. But, I mean, you could also defend that title, defend some of those titles and then move on. I will try and look at that. Yeah, man. Well, on that note, guys, I got to go. But it was really fun talking to you guys. If you got any other questions for me, let's talk about it. But it was just about the best in each division I wanted to talk about. And also us being the best people we could possibly be by being in tune with Jesus, man. I can tell you guys, man, Jesus is the way, the truth, the life. I gotta go check out my mom, see how she's going. I always ask her to hydrate with water, but she don't ever really truly take me on. Like, I don't know how much water she drank today. She has to drink a lot more water, for her body to be good. I don't know if she's preparing to go out or what. So let me go check and see how she's doing. I heard her in the background, so I'm gonna go check her out. Right. All right, guys. Hope you guys have a great day. And for all three of you viewers that was watching, it was fun, man. If you guys want to leave any other questions for me, just let me know. Otherwise, I'm boogieing out of here, man. All right, dudes. I'm out. Peace.